Here we are at the Mount Zion Theater. Today's video is focusing on the stage left strike process. There are other videos that refer to the stage right and center stage, also an overview video. So this video again focuses only on the stage left. There is a strike document that we've prepared that gives the list. Because we've made an overview video, I'm not going to go through steps 1, 2, and 3 on this particular video, simply to point out, however, that it's necessary to pay attention to those steps. The most important being, disassemble this set in proper sequence. Do not work out of order. And that's so that we can protect the pieces for reuse and then also keep yourself safe from the brad staples from the trim. So we're going to take this up to the stage and go through each of these steps, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So starting with step 4, it says remove kickout to panel loft A. We're going to open the kickout and locate the perimeter screws on the inside of the panel, unscrew those perimeter screws, and then close the kickout and remove, and afterwards we can then place the panel on the cart. So here we are on the stage, and I'm going to show you the kickout. It's this piece here with the picture that says God bless our home. Obviously, we'll have to remove this picture first, and to do that, you'll notice there are a couple drywall screws here, and those screws are here because we have wood support and they carry the load of the picture. And on the back, and I think you can see it from the side, but you can see that there's a command strip right there. So you'll simply just pop that off the wall and then put that away appropriately. So this kick out here is like a big page of a book. It opens. There we go. And you can see in its open position, it looks like the pages of a book. And locating the perimeter screws is pretty easy. There's usually no more than 4 screws holding these kickouts in. And we typically will reuse former holes. And so you'll see one, there's a drywall screw there. It looks like it's painted. There's another one there. It looks like it was touched up there in the corner. Usually in the top, there'll be a couple. There could be one in the middle. There's one here, and that's right in the center of the panel, about 4 feet up. And we're going up to the top and looking at the corners. You can see that top one there, and then we're just slightly pan left, and there'll be another one. Yep, right there in the corner. So if you remove those perimeter screws, this panel won't fall over. It will just stand there just like this on the stage, in which case then you can close it again, and with the help of someone else, take it down and put it on the panel cart. So now that step 4 is completed, we're going to move on to the double doors. This is going to be a little tricky. It's going to take 2 or 3 guys, mainly because of the size of the door. You can see it says remove the door handle, strike plate, and hinges, all door hardware placed in large Ziploc bag. Place the doors on the panel cart. And so what's important before moving these doors is removing the hardware. It's especially necessary because hardware always gets banged up, and we want to be able to reuse it. So we will be removing these door handles and the strike plate and so forth. But the first things first is after removing these door handles, and so I'm going to go ahead and open this. You're going to remove the strike plate here, and then there is a, I believe, Allen wrench on the underside. This pops off with a screw. You can see the little hole there. That's where you're going to have to get in and pop that off. If for whatever reason you are not able to take the door handles off, it's not a crisis. Preferable, but again, if that's the case, we'll do that in the shop. What is required, however, and you'll notice that we didn't put these hinges all the way in, and that's on purpose, is we just needed the door to function for the play, and we needed to remove it quickly. So you're going to pop these hinge pins out, and there's 2 on each door, and then the doors will just go on a cart for later removal. After doing that, we're going to remove the door casing. Now, again, if you can pop off the door casing, great. And the reason mainly for that is this double door doesn't fit through the hallways very easily with this extra header on. So when it says remove door casing, you can pop these rosettes, you can pop the fluted trim, you can pop the plinth blocks, but we can do that in the Creative Kitchen next week. What's most important to remove for taking this down and putting it in the creative kitchen, it's actually this header right here, this pretty little thing. And it's not connected to this. This rosette is separately, you can kind of see the staple there stapled on. So you could just pop that header off. It's nailed there with a couple brad nails. You can see on the edges there. Just pry that off and it's its own piece. After doing that, then you can put the door and the panels on the cart. Going to the next step, it says remove the ceiling trim, remove the chair rail and base molding, and then to disassemble the stage left wall. So I'm going to show you the process of 7, 8, and 9 really all together in one sweep. So going back here to these panels, you'll notice that there is a cove. There's a two-part cove. It's right up there at the top. And after popping that off with a putty knife or a painter's tool, a 5-in-1, and popping off the chair rail, popping off the base molding, that'll be in a separate stack, the panels are ready for final disassembly. To do that, you'll have to go backstage. The very first thing you'll do, and I'm going to draw your attention up. It may be a little challenge to see here in the video because it's a little darker, but you can see that there's an orange tie line. There's one right there. Kind of gets lost in the background. And then there's another one that's black, a little harder to see on the video, but there it is right there. And these two tie lines are mounted to this bar clamp, which is simply just compressed onto the wall, so you just loosen that up. So the simple way to remove these is just to pull the string. It's designed to where you can just pull the string straight down and the knot will unloosen. And then after that, you'll have to remove this door header support here. It really just lashes these panels together. So when the door is open, it doesn't cause the wall to wiggle so much. And after that, you'll start to remove the brackets on the edges or the ends that hold these angles together. So there's one up there. Again, it might be a little hard to see, but there it is. And then this one a little bit easier to see. Let's see if we can bring that into focus for you. There it is right there. You can see that one right there. And then there's another one down at the bottom. After removing those, we're going to remove the 3 brackets that are top, bottom, and center. And this is with all panels. There's one at the bottom, down there. There's one in the center, right there. And there's one at the top, right there. You can see it just above that orange line. And again, I know it's a little bit tricky to see back here. My apologies for that in the video. But kind of knowing what you're about to do ahead of time gives you a general sense of what's going on and how to be successful with it. You've got these jack braces that will come down. You'll disconnect these, and typically they're mounted with a bracket of some sort on the top. And then if you go down underneath this sandbag, there's a couple other brackets way down deep in there. It's really simple though to disconnect that. Now I do want to point out that this door frame does not get removed. And so you can see your cue will be this angle for reinforcements, part of the door frame. That whole door frame remains in this double door unit. It cannot be removed. You'll remove the bucket braces, which are here in the back, these black braces, if you would. And then I do want to draw your attention to a feature, and this is a result of the theatrics. This compressor here, you can see it ties off to some S-hooks, and these S-hooks really just disconnect from this I-hook here, so there's nothing fancy that you're doing. We have these S-hooks here to hold these valves so that the operator can open and close the airlift, which makes the china cabinet go forward. You can see this tangle of what looks like a mess of fishing line and yellow string. It's actually the mechanism that when you pull, it brings all the dishes back to the cabinet when Mary Poppins snaps her fingers. So the simple thing to do is just cut this line and then remove these air lines from these S-hooks with this eye bolt right here, this eye screw. So when you kind of take all this apart, you'll leave the air hoses together with these air valves, but you will disconnect the line from the compressor. There's a quick disconnect down there. You can see it. So you'll just pull back on this little collar and the air valve will, or the air port will come out. This compressor here will go back to the Creative Kitchen and we'll kind of deal with it from there. But I just wanted to show you that when you're disassembling, for example, this stage left wall, which is what we're focused on here in this video, there is a connection here on this seam to the center stage wall, which you will have to disconnect, which means you might get into disconnecting this first. So I'm just giving you a heads up on that. So now that these panels and so forth are disconnected from hardware, typically what happens, and I'm going to come back around to the front, once everything comes out, you've got the kickout removed, the door header is removed, all the trim is removed, these doors are out. It's just a blank wall. That wall can be lowered to the floor, and all those fasteners that I just showed you can be disassembled from the floor. They can also be disassembled from ladders, so that really at that point's a preference, but just wanted to point that out. So if you have any questions, contact the theater director. There will be a StageCraft leader on site to answer questions or help you with a process step. Enjoy your time.